Now to a very disturbing story in Michigan. The mother of 20-year-old Demetrius Manderfield says her imprisoned son is being tortured because he is being denied the proper treatment for his sickle cell condition. Demetrius is being held in the Milan Federal Facility in York Charter Township, Michigan, on charges of sex trafficking involving a 15-year-old. No trial date has been set. A March 16th letter to the federal judge in Demetrius' case from a Michigan Corrections Department physician called Demetrius' condition life-threatening and recommended medication and transfusions as soon as possible. A statement issued by the federal court on behalf of Judge Judith Levy said, quote, Judge Levy has been well aware of Mr. Manderfield's situation since a court hearing in early March and has followed up with the U.S. Marshal Service and the medical staff at the Milan Detention Center. Joining us on FaceTime from Detroit is Demetrius Manderfield's mother, Tia Sumner. Thanks for being with us, Ms. Sumner.
Thank you for allowing me to be here.
I am so sorry that you're here under such circumstances. When was the last time that you communicated with your son, and how is he doing?
I talked with him yesterday evening. He's still in a lot of pain, and he has had a migraine for about a week now. So we're very concerned about him having a stroke.
Well, what is going on with Demetrius' condition, and can you tell us what kind of medical treatment he should be getting that he isn't getting?
Demetrius is supposed to be transfused every 3 weeks without fail, and he's also supposed to be taking a medicine called Jade-Nu, which removes the iron from his liver, and he hasn't had that since he's got there. It's been 4 months now. And then also, with his blood transfusion, they did give him 1 unit of blood on the 31st. But yet and still, he definitely needs a lot more, and he should be in the hospital.
Is there some sort of legal basis that Michigan and federal corrections officials are telling you for them refusing to give the care, or what's the story for why he's not getting it?
Well, the thing is they really have been notified since December of 2016. I started to call them right away because I knew that there was going to be an issue. But what it was we filed a motion. We had Demetrius' lawyer file a motion, and we went in front of Judge Judith Levy on the 7th of March. At that court date, she told me that she would decide in 24 hours whether or not I could take him home to take him to the hospital to receive care. After that, it was only me speaking with a civil lawyer. She actually was able to go into his case, and she told me that the judge had denied the motion. But she didn't contact his family. We had no idea. And the reason for her denying the motion was because she said that he could receive care at Milan. But the thing is it still took a whole nother month for him to even receive the 1 unit of blood that he got, which is, like I said, not enough. He should have been transfused about 4 or 5 times now. And so he's still in immense pain, and the migraine. It doesn't make any sense to me.
So it's not that they aren't equipped at the facility to treat him. It seems they're just at this point refusing to do so.
Correct. And the thing is the entire time we kept telling them that he either needed to go to U of M or he needed to go back to Carmano's to his regular doctors. When they took him 4 months later, really, but a month after the judge actually says she knew about it, they ended up taking him to his regular doctors at Carmano's anyway. So they could have taken him in the first place.
Scott, coming to you. Look, I wouldn't have to be a lawyer. I could just play one on TV to know there are big problems here, and especially at the levels, we're going to talk about it later in the show, that sickle cell anemia affects our community. What rights does this man have, and what should go on now?
Well, we shouldn't be laughing, actually, but I know where you're going with this, and I feel the pain of our guest on Facebook. Here's the deal. If you are imprisoned, if you're waiting for trial, then in most states, and especially at the federal level, you've got a right to medical treatment. Otherwise, you're sentencing an individual to maybe a life sentence or a death sentence if you don't give them treatment. The challenge with the criminal justice system at the federal and state level is not that they can't treat patients like this. There are a lot of people who need treatment who are in prison. The challenge is whether it's effective, whether it's efficient, whether it's timely, and whether they really have the expertise. In 2010, I think, there was a report that came out about the medical medical treatment in the Federal Bureau of Prisons, which was woefully insufficient. Expect the state's treatment process to be woefully insufficient too. And so her lawyer, the mother here, her lawyer, and others have got to continue to press the court through motions and other public pressure in order to get him the timely treatment and the effective treatment, because it can be done. And I'm not sure what he's charged with, this trafficking piece right here of this 15-year-old. I don't know how old he is, but the bottom line is he shouldn't be suffering physically simply because he's accused of a crime.
Lauren, quickly, you know, we talked about over-incarceration over the weekend at the National Bar event. This is one of the byproducts, isn't it, that they simply do not have the capacity, even if they have the willingness, they don't have the capacity to treat the people who are incarcerated.
Yeah, I mean, the U.S. continues to lead the world in incarceration with 2.3 million people behind bars. This is one of the byproducts of that. We don't care generally in our society about poor people. We don't care about the incarcerated, and we sort of let anything happen to them. I mean, the Khalif Browder case at Rikers, which is finally going to close. I mean, my father worked at Rikers for 20 years, and all the stories he told me as I grew up, I'm sure, are all true. And this type of thing, obviously, is, I mean, our healthcare system isn't good when you're outside, much less inside the system. But we don't treat people incarcerated well, just as we don't treat poor people generally well in our society. So it's not a surprise.
And they are humans in the system, not cattle in the system. Ms. Sumner, thank you so much for joining us, and we'll be in prayer for your son to receive treatment as soon as possible.
Thank you.